you. Okay? That's right, good name. We're going to wrap everything around this series in one verse. It's John 3:30. You have John 3:30? It says, he must become greater, we must become less. He must become greater, and we must become less. You see, this life is not about us. It's about God, as we sang today. You know, it's about Him. If we're going to reach both ways, then we're going to have to die to self. We're all human, okay? We're all going to want to do certain things a certain way. But if we put God first, then it can take care of itself. So with that being said, that's fantastic. That's my dad, won't be. I want to do something real quick if we can. Rebecca, will you go? We need to run that video real quick. For those of you who don't know, Patrick ran last week from Monroe to Social Circle. That's a long way. 14-day mile. That's right. I mean, listen, I can't even run to the mailbox and back, okay? He did that because God is greater, He is less. There's a purpose behind what He did, okay? We were raising money.
Right, we raised so far, we raised $503.
$503, amen. We're raising money for people who need wheelchair ramps and things of that nature. So anyway, as they're getting that ready, Patrick, you want to say something real quick about that? Talk about your run for about 30 seconds. Real brief summary.
Brief summary was, I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning, we prayed, 9 o'clock, started, we had a sheriff deputy chasing me down, Highway 11, big truck passing me, and I'm going to tell you something, God received every bit of glory. I had people giving me hands, high fives, I had people giving high fives to the window, and thumbs up. It was awesome.
I made our way from the courthouse in Monroe to the well house in Social Circle, about 14 miles. I am pooped and I am tired. But we did it, and we thank you guys for your support, and can't wait to see you guys and tell you all about it. It's awesome.
Amen. Our God is greater. God is greater. All right, let's dive into the scriptures here. I want to set this up here where it said, John is the one that said he must become greater, I must become less. The reason he said this was because somewhere earlier in that time, John had baptized Jesus down by the Jordan. And he had people, what happened was, Jesus started baptizing people down by the Jordan, okay? But John's disciples came back. And when they came back, they were going to John and they were saying, John, what's going on, man? He's got followers now. People are leaving us and going to him. And John said, he must become greater, I must become less. So let me read that. John 3:26. So they came to John and said to him, Rabbi, that man who was with you on the other side of the Jordan, one you testified about, look, he is baptizing and everyone is going to him. So his disciples were worried about that. And I can just imagine what John said at that time. He said, probably he would say, listen, it's okay to finish second. It's okay to be second best. He was the forerunner. He was preparing the way for that to take place. Okay? And that's pretty hard to swallow in a culture like today when second place is like the first last. We all know how we're taught now when we play sports or anything that we do. We've got to finish first. We've got to be top dog. Okay, there you go, top dog. That's my argument yesterday, okay? But that's right, we root for Bama next week. Roll Tide. So, but in a culture of finishing second, that just doesn't work, does it? Because we're taught not to finish second. But you see, if we focus on God and not us, it's not about us anyway, guys. It's about God. It's about the lost community out there. It's about the little springs, which we are getting prepared to go out there, by the way. Dad is going to come up and speak afterwards at the end of the service to talk about that. We've got two big things coming up in like a week and a half. So he's going to share that with you. When you meet someone who is all into themselves, don't you just want to say, forget you? We all know these people. We all know him, we see him every day. Well, you know, I can just imagine God saying to us, no, forget you, too. You need to look in the mirror, because it's not about you, it's about God. Well, I have rights. Isn't life about me? My Twitter account, my Facebook account, it all has these, okay? My children, my career. Do we put these things before God? We've got people here, we've got people not here tonight. Some are here, not here because they're sick, but some are here because they're at a football game, okay? Now, where are their priorities? You know, is it about football, or is it about God? You know, we have to prioritize. What is it about? If you're taking notes, write this one right here down. I like this little segment here. It says, to mature physically, we must increase. All right, to mature physically, as we grow up, we get bigger, we increase. But to mature spiritually, we decrease. We decrease, he increases. Okay? That's what we should be shooting for. Mother Teresa says, if you're humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know who you are. All right, we're going to talk about 3 things today. All right? Being less about me and more about Jesus means, number 1, I lose my focus. So number 1, I lose my focus. Hebrews 2:2, please. Can you put that on there? It says, let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith. See, if our focus is on him, not about us. We don't have anything to worry about. If our focus is on him, if he's first in life, we'll be okay. We will go out. And we will go because the Great Commission says to go make disciples and make disciples and make disciples. So let's get the focus off of us. I want to tell you a story that I witnessed that I was actually part of. And Dad, I'm not sure if you were there or not. You were there some of that season. We had a basketball team at Living Waters Baptist Church for a couple of years. Jacob, you were little. You remember that? I have a nephew named Josh. Okay? There's another instance with him too, from softball. But we're going to talk about this basketball game. We were playing First Baptist of Covington. They beat us the first year. This was the second year. And it was kind of like a little grudge match because we were the little orphan kids, basically, and they were all First Baptist. And we all know how that goes, okay? It was a tight game for most of the game. And Josh had scored probably 20 points that game. He was just pounding it inside. And he was just scoring points, you know? But he wasn't a great free throw shooter, though, you know? So they were going to foul him. Well, this young kid, I can't even remember his name yet. A young black kid, was a junior in high school. Remember that kid? Yeah. We brought him on. He was our point guard that year. Well, about the last 2 minutes of the ball game, he had hit about 3 threes. Okay? All of a sudden, he got a hot hand. And so we got down to like, I think about 6 seconds left, and Josh stole the ball, you know, and he knocked it out of his hand and knocked it out of bounds. So I call a timeout. It was like 4 seconds left in the game. Okay? He had scored all those points, but this young man was hot. He had a hot hand. Everybody knows the basketball. If you're in the game, you need to win the game. You're going to give it to the kid who's shooting the best at that point in time. It's not about the whole entire game. It's about that point in time. Well, I call a timeout, and I pull everybody together. And I think you were there. You remember that story? I was. And I told Josh, I said, Josh, I'm going to throw the ball in. You're going to set a pick. This kid's going to shoot a 3, and we're either going to win or lose when we go to the house. You know, we need to try to beat this team. He argued and argued and argued. We're running out of time. We're in this club. We're running out of time for timeout. And I said, no, Josh, it's not about you. Okay, we're trying to win this game here. You're going to set a pick. This kid's going to shoot 3. He argued and argued and argued. And finally, I think you spoke up and said, you want to go sit on the bench? Well, of course not. He didn't want to sit on the bench. He was like 20. So he sure didn't want to sit on the bench. But also, we throw the ball in. Josh pretty much levels the guy. He sets a really nice pick. This kid shoots the ball 2 seconds, 1 second, and as soon as the buzzer went off, it went in and we won the game. And Livio Living Waters, church membership of about, at that time, of about 40, beat First Baptist of how many?
Number of hundreds.
Number of hundreds, usually within the top 3 in that league every year. And so, when the game was over with, you know, of course he wasn't happy, but he realized, listen, what about him? You did good for us early on, but sometimes it's not about you. Sometimes it's about somebody else, you know. So if everything is important, then really nothing is important. If everything is right here, then it's really not important. To him, it was important for him to win the game. What he didn't realize is it wasn't about him at that moment. You know? So I'm glad he's not here. He will be here someday. He's very, I'm going to get that out of the way. Right now, before he shows up, he's a lot bigger than me. So James knows how big he is. He's a big old country boy, isn't he? So let's focus on the things Christ focused on. Okay, our second point. I lose my stuff. I lose my stuff. Okay? In Ecclesiastes 5:10 it says, there it is, whoever loves money has never enough. Whoever loves wealth, and it seems I'm just right over here.
It's right there.
Is it back up there? It messes with me, aren't it? Let's start over. Whoever loves money has never enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with his income. You see, we get emotional about things we think we own. My car, my agenda for the day. We think our stuff is actually ours, guys. But it's really not, is it? Because guess who allows us to get up in the morning, and guess who allows us to have a job, okay? This money that we get, our paycheck, is actually God's, and He gives it to us as good stewards. So it's really not ours, okay? I'm going to tell you, I wasn't going to tell you this because 2 of these people are in here, but I'm going to share this anyway because I need to fit it into my sermon. But Rebecca has a car out there. This thing, did you hear the giggles? This thing got dent all over it, man. I'm talking about from bumper, truck door, that's every single part of this thing has got dent on it. Well, we're all giggling because now our okay? It's not ours. Okay? So we're not too concerned about it. Oh, it's okay. Now, let me tell you the flip side of that right